question, Kurt, to Karine Jean-Pierre in the White House briefing earlier today was, how does releasing those migrants, who you saw in that video, how does releasing them make the country safer? And she punted to, I think, the Department of Homeland Security and then gave that answer. Your answer to how does that make the country safer, or what Karine Jean-Pierre said, would be what?
It doesn't. I mean, at some point, you just got to, like, let the footage speak for itself. It doesn't make it safer. I don't know why this happened. I don't know what failure in our judicial process or an incarceration process, or if they're overwhelmed and there's not enough beds or spaces for all of these people. But we have to just admit that, yeah, this is a problem. Passing off the buck while a politically, obviously, that's what everyone does. In this situation, and Chris is right, with this being such a major vulnerability, the major vulnerability public policy-wise for President Biden's reelection, I think you got to be candid. I think you got to say, yeah, this thing is majorly broken. Here's the problem.
So why won't they say that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know why they gave that answer, because if you're going to give the answer, you got to give it in two parts. It's broken. We need to fix it. We have a bill that would fix it. Republicans aren't letting us pass it. Someone who you reference this has deep roots with this community. And you look at a lot of people that might end up campaigning for him, people he's had a lot of influence over, people who went to the University of Miami, Michael Irvin, the playmaker, great Hall of Fame receiver, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Russell Maryland. Like, these are people, when the parties were going on at the U, when they were there, they were happening at Uncle Luke's house. Right. Call our party nominees the standard bearer for our party, but really politics has become this race to the bottom. Here you have two athletes who recognize and understand that they are going to be the face of women's sports for the next decade in Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. They are accepting that responsibility, and as they conduct themselves with the most national spotlight you could possibly have, millions of people are going to be watching them tonight. And they are not shying away from that responsibility. They are rising up to meet it because they know what's at stake, that everything that happens going forward, the WNBA TV rights are going to be renegotiated in about a year and a half. Those two and their mark on the game could mean every player that comes after them gets a big raise and more process towards equity and equality.
Show the George W. Bush and Michelle Obama picture real quick, if we can, because this went viral recently. A few years. There you go.
Yeah.
Like, Chris, are we ever going to get back to a moment like that?
Well, we have to acknowledge our role in this in the media and how we help contribute to this problem. But certainly what we have allowed, and certainly what our politicians have done, is to catastrophize our politics. The best thing about sports is, if you don't win this time, you get to try again next time. Right. These two teams played last year. They're going to play again tonight, and and if you didn't like this one, come back again. You can't have decent conduct in your elections, and you can't have decent politics if you believe the lie that this is the last election. This is if we lose this one, then everything's gone. This is the most important election. As voters and as journalists, we have to reject that lie that politicians tell us. If they catastrophize our politics and tell us that the future of this country is doomed, then we're not going to hold them to the correct account.
Who you got tonight, Perini?
In the LSU-Iowa State game? Iowa game, I'm going to take LSU.
All right, there you go.
Iowa's going to win. This is a legacy game for Caitlin Clark.
And UConn's going to win the second game.
All right,
they're going to the championship.